we're talking about Korach, and you brought an interesting point that you heard this weekend, a chidush that Korach should have let out. De'aga belev ish yeshechena le'acherim. He should let it out. Okay, let's hear what else. What else do you hear on that? Let me hear.
Rabbi said that he felt that he had issues with Moshe, and he let it go, and now this was building up.
He could have maybe addressed it directly with Moshe. A lot of times you'd be surprised. Mahlokets usually grow because they're not being addressed because of ego directly, as they say, mano imano. And so you see from the story of Korach that sometimes just going and addressing the situation directly usually will quell the situation pretty quickly. Instead, he rounded up his wife, got him rounded up. He rounded up more people. Next thing you know, there was a coup d'état.
Well, she added to it.
And like we were saying, the reason why the Mishnah says that the machloket wasn't with Korach and Moshe, is a machloket l'shem shamayim, lo l'shem shamayim, not Korach and Moshe, and Korach madato, because the argument was about the day after. Korach and Adato did not. Korach and his own crew, his own goonies around him, they also did. They had no clue, what was going to be the after, and they were all tzaddikim. The whole story is so interesting. It's so interesting because they were so holy and there was so much kedusha, and like we said last week, Korach is coming back. Like they said from the Terminator, I'll be back. At the end of the day, he's coming back. And uvnei Korach lo metu, his children are constantly reminded to us in the Nevi'im, in the Ketubim, Tehillim. We see it on Sukkot. We see it on Monday during the week. It's unbelievable. And I think that was the thing that disturbed me the most on the story of Korach, is that he's coming back. Because had you told me he wasn't, the story ends well, the message is clear, but here it's very confusing. It's very confusing. And not only is that, the more confusing part is how it goes down, where the same terminology that Moshe Rabbeinu uses for Korach is used against Moshe. It's a story that we don't know so clearly. It's not clear to us. There's an interesting ma'amar here. What happened on the day of Korach's machloket in regards to the man? The man used to come down in the zechut of Moshe, and now Korach's arguing on his leadership. So let's see what happened. B'sefer Shevet Musar. Shevet Musar is written by Rabbi Eliyahu HaKohen HaItamari from Izmir, Turkey. He was a rabbi that had traced back his lineage to Aharon HaKohen, to the family of Itamar HaKohen, the son. Why? Aharon had 4 children. Nadav and Avihu passed away. Elazar and Tamar. That means all Kohanim today come from Elazar, Tamar, or Pinchas, because that was the extra added later. So 3 families. The Baal Shevet Musar was from Rabbi Eliyahu Kohen Itamari, from Itamar, and he had traced it back, and that was only a couple hundred years ago, like 400 or 500 years ago, which is nice. Which means we still had Kohanim that had their lineage purebreds. Hevi davar pele b'shem Chazal. It says an interesting thing. You know how difficult the mahloket is? Arguing and fighting lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu in front of God. That during the Egel they were all in peace. Lo nifsak haman. During the time of the Egel, food was coming down. Hashem was feeding them. He said, because you know mahloket. I know you're of the avodah zarah. You're questioning my authority in the land that I even exist. But you guys have no mahloket. You get to have the money. You get to have the food, the bread. Ubimachlakato shel Korach, during when Korach's fighting, lo yarad beoto yom ke'omram zal, like it's brought down by Chazal. It says, Hine lo nimsa davar ze mifosha b'sifrei Chazal shedefanenu. He says it's not really brought down so clearly in the books of Chazal, this ma'amar that the man didn't fall on it. Ve'ulai haya leBaal Shevet Musar midrash she'enu b'yadenu. It must be the Baal Shevet Musar must have had some book of midrashim, because there's a bunch of different midrashim. There's midrash Rabbah, Yalkut Shimoni. There's so many different midrashim that are there. Ur'eh ma shekatav b'sefer Shemen Rosh of Rabbi Asher Anshel Katz Shlita Av Bedin the Kahal Kadosh Vayan Ramaz na'al le'divrei Shevet Musar b'shem hamidrash she'amar lahem Moshe Boker v'yoda Hashem et asher lo. What happened was, during the argument of Korach, Moshe tells them, okay, you, Korach, the 250, I want you, and Aharon are all going to put a stick, and tomorrow they'll have the ketoret, we'll figure out who's going to be. But he says, Boker v'yoda Hashem et asher lo. Tomorrow, and in the morning, God will know to who is his. And so there's a lot of like discussions of what do you mean boker? What does that have to do with anything? So there's a lot of different interpretations. I want to give you a few. Let's finish what he says here, and then I'll give you the few others. Ki b'man ne'emar v'yilketu oto b'boker b'boker. It says on the man that they would be melaketed every morning. Ve'amar lahem Moshe. Moshe said, Re'u v'hidbonenu ki mahloket zo enam l'shem shamayim. He said the mahloket is not l'shem shamayim. So Moshe Rabbeinu tells Korach, Boker v'yoda Hashem et asher lo. So it says here, Ki b'man ne'emar v'yilketu oto b'boker b'boker, because in the man, it says they would collect it in the morning. It uses the same word b'boker or boker. Ve'amar lehem Moshe re'u v'tbonu ki mahloket zo enam l'shem shamayim. He said, if this mahloket was truly l'shem shamayim, שהרי בבוקר כאשר תצאו ללקוט את המן לא תמצאו ואז יודע לכם השם את אשר לו. So he says one of the reasons why he tells Korach, if you guys are really truly l'shem shamayim and you guys are really doing it for the right reasons, then tomorrow morning the man will be found right by your doorstep and you'll know it's l'shem shamayim. He says, but if it's not, then he goes, you guys will figure out by the morning time. He goes, and we'll see. He goes, that's one reason. What's another reason? The second reason, Moshe wanted to give Korach more time to think about the argument because he had.
Didn't he also have to look introspect Moshe to himself?
Well, we're going to get to that. That's the next one. So first, he wanted Korach to think about what he was doing. He said, Korach, maybe think about what you're doing because he knew Korach was very intelligent. I was learning today that Korach was one of the few people that figured out the secret of Paraduma, that even Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know fully. Korach had known it. I saw it today from Rabbi Breitowitz. So it's very interesting, this whole thing. That was one. What's the other reason? That Moshe Rabbeinu, he himself wanted to wait until the morning because he wanted to listen to what Korach and the Edah were saying to him, because he said maybe they're saying something true about me not being the right leader, and maybe I need to improve. And Moshe Rabbeinu was so humble that he said, let me look into myself. What's another reason? So we said that Moshe Rabbeinu looked for his introspection. Moshe then was also praying for Korach, that Korach would make teshuvah by the morning. We said the other one, that the man and the food in the morning, boker, would be able to do. What's another reason? The other reason is that Korach was under the impression that the world was already coming to a tikkun. And that being that we were going to create the Mishkan, the world was going to have its full tikkun, and we can go from the side of Rahamim to the side of Din. The world would operate during the time of perfection with judgment because everything would be so perfect. And Korach felt it had reached that point. And Moshe Rabbeinu was trying to signal to him is that we didn't get there yet. There's still more time for tikkunim and things that have to be developed. So Moshe was trying to signal to him. He said, I'll show it to you and prove it to you by tomorrow morning when you wake up. What was he saying? He's saying in the morning, Korach, when you wake up, you're going to have to wash your hands. When you wash your hands in the morning, you're going to pick up the cup, fill it up with water, and pick it up with your left hand, and then pour it onto your right hand. He said, by seeing that message, you're seeing that your left, which is usually signifying the deen, the judgment, is pouring the water onto the right. The left is still serving the right. We did not yet reach the point where there's tikkun in the world, where now the deen is sholet. The deen is still serving the right. We're not there yet. Korach, when we're going to get there, you're going to become Kohen Gadol in the third Beit HaMikdash. But we didn't get there yet. You're right, you're going to have a descendant Shakul ke Moshe v'Aaron. I'm willing to give up my spot for you. Your argument is not against me. It's not Korach v'Moshe, it's Korach v'Adato. They have a completely different argument. And so you see from here that the story is even deeper on this surface. But what's the whole what he's trying to say? Ubesifrosh midrash talpiot hevi mehashlah kadosh machloket echad docha mea parnasot. So that's one of the sources from the Shlah HaKadosh and midrash talpiot, that one argument can push off 100 parnasot. I don't know what parnasot are in specific, but just know that parnasot is money and success and wealth, and whatever it is, mahloket pushes it off. And it's such a strong message because we see the message that during the time of David HaMelech in Klal Yisrael there were some mahlokot. And because there were some mahlokot, David HaMelech didn't win every battle. During the time of Achav HaMelech, which was a Rasha, he went to battle and he would win. The Torah is telling us this story for a reason. The Torah is trying to tell us, if you're going to be great Jews and you're going to have mahloket, it ain't going to work. Because not that you're better off, has v'shalom, being not religious like in the time of Achav and having unity, but if you really want to look for the Torah's path, and you're going straight to the religious side with avoiding a peace and going into mahloket, it ain't going to work. Your battles are not going to be won that way. Your battles are only going to be won through shalom. And Rav Abraham Shor, when he came down to Miami, he gave a whole talk. We recorded it on shul.com. You could see the whole talk on it. It's a great, fantastic talk about what tikkuns we need to do for the time of Mashiach. And he discusses re'iyah, watching your eyes, and so many different ideas that he tries to pinpoint on it. But one of his main things that he was saying was on Sud Mera. He goes, today, everyone's focused on the Aseh Tov. I'm doing more chesed, I'm learning more, I'm doing more. And that's great. It's all good. But he said the main job, as the Pasuk says, it says, Sud Mera va'aseh tov. The main focus of our work here on earth is to stay away from bad. There's more lo ta'asehs than there are asehs. And if you look throughout the Mefarshim many times, they always say, Shab al ta'aseh adif. Stop, avoid doing things, putting yourself in situations that can do avonot, which is interesting. It's I think it's a concept that's not well discussed, that we should be focused on avoiding problematic situations in avonot, as opposed to doing more and more mitzvot. Limud Torah is different. Limud Torah is different than doing mitzvot. We always say, because Limud Torah is on a different, Talmud Torah keneged kulam. I think that's a big point that Rabbi Avraham Shor is saying. Sur Merah, staying away from bad. Yeah, and for men, it's easy. It's Shemirat Enaim, Shemirat Oznaim, and Shemirat Lashon. It's the three. I know today with this Vaima'in, everyone's on the Re'iyah, this new Vaima'in. They make these videos of all the rabbis and the interviews. Great stuff, great content. But it's focused only on Shemirat Enaim. But there's also Shemirat Oznaim. When someone goes to the doctor, they go to ENT, ear, nose, throat, they're all interconnected. So Shemirat Lashon, Shemirat Oznaim, Shemirat Ha'af, I don't know about smelling, and then I'm sure the eyes connected. So they're all interconnected. Of course, Shemirat Enaim being one of the greater ones. But there's like a whole list of Mar'ot Asurot that I saw, very interesting, that it's not only looking at ladies, for men, that's Asur. There's also looking at animals that are tameh, looking at the face of anyone that is mad, Jew or not Jew, looking at the face of anyone that is a rasha, or anyone like that committed something that's the rishut, looking at avodah zarah, looking at abatei avodah zarah, looking at shekatzim uramasim, looking at bugs and insects. All these things, they're not things that we advertise and classify as sur to look at, but they are brought down in Chazal as mar'ot asurot, that prevention of looking and focusing on these things can bring more kedusha. So it's interesting. It's none of these things are hayuvs, except for the shemirat enaim for on ladies, but on the other one, it's interesting. Oh, and also another one is looking at the peneh of someone who passed away, someone who's dead. Not to look at a dead body's face, because it can make a person forget and things like that. It's interesting. So like sometimes we say like Shemirat Enaim, we think right away on ladies. There's a lot of other stuff that's involved. There's avodah zarah. There's looking at creatures, animals. These things have an effect. They have an effect somewhere along the lines, and the Hachamim were aware of it.